Yo, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Morning Market Report. I'm getting phone calls on Discord in an opening from someone on my team. What the hell is going on? All right, listen, guys, we've got some data coming in this morning. We got a little pump in the markets. We got some little bit of green on the hourly. I think we could get a little relief rally today coming in on us, but don't get caught. Guys, don't get caught. I don't think that the pull down is over. Right now, you can see the S&P, Dow Jones, NASDAQ all above my head there. They're in the green. And then we got Russell 2K and the VIX in the red. So they're pulling back a little bit. We want to see that VIX come down. That's what we want to see. We'll take a look at that. Crypto GSIC, can we see 84 again to short? We'll take a look at that. It's possible. It's very possible. We are seeing that little pullback. You guys can see the daily is a little bit red right now. Looking at the hourly, we've got a lot of green going on here, right? So that is telling us that markets are moving up. We just saw that on the TradFi. We're seeing it on crypto. We'll take a look at where those levels are at, guys. But I will point this out. Right now, getting a nice little pump here on the candle off of our 786. This is our fib line that we've been watching here. We got a nice little double bottom, and take a look right there. That little tiny blue dot and that green line, that's a peak seeker indicator on our chart prime oscillator. That is a bullish divergence. We could get that little rally back up into, I'm thinking about 83,000. May not be 84, but it might be darn close. That is where we are sitting with all of the quantum reactor, dynamic reactor, top of the golden pocket. A lot of confluence there. We'll break all that down. We'll take a look at where the markets might be going today, what you need to know about this week, and FOMC minutes today. We're going to talk about that. Plus, is there a chance that the Fed Reserve does not do any rate cuts at all this year? JP Morgan is weighing in on that topic, all that and a whole lot more today on the Morning Market Report. Let's get it, guys. Class is in session. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Market Report. Let's bring down this screen. We need to see what's going on here on the chart behind us. JR, why are you calling me at market open, bro? We got to talk. This guy. Yeah, guys, that's what we got going on here right now with the markets. A little rally on them. Give them a little move to the upside, but we're going to be breaking it all down for you guys today. Was there something else? I think there was something else I was going to bring up to do. Crypto execs. Oh, yes, there is. Crypto execs expect global banking push into Bitcoin by the end of 2025. What would that mean for Bitcoin as a whole? OC and I will probably talk about that. But let's go ahead and bring up my co-host, partner in crime. It's the OC guy. What's up, dude? How you doing, man?
Not much. Just today, a little pissed off because electricity workers kind of disconnected my contacts or my power source, and I just won't be able to take breakfast until 1 p.m. But other than that, let's make a good day out of this. So how is market?
That means I do not get a chance to catch you eating this morning. That disappoints me, man. What is my morning show if I can't catch you eating?
Oh, wait. I think I have an old waffle in the fridge. Maybe I can get that.
We don't want you to eat the awful waffle. Shout out to everybody in the chat right now. We got BC Port Corp in here, JR, Alexandra G, the Mod Queen, Wayne C, Crypto Billy's in here with us. Hey, Crypto Billy, appreciate you giving that shout out last night about me on the X Space. That was awesome, dude. I appreciate you, man. Who else? We got Hart, Wix Wi-Fi, 89, 2Dub in the house with us. We got Keith from Crypto Coin Mindset, Crypto Princess, Your Highness. Good to see you here. Prim and proper. That is what she is. I'm telling you. Army Piper. I love it. We got BC. I already said his name, but I'll say it again. Froth Dog Billionaire in the house with us. We have, I saw Glock, Ninja Glock in here earlier. Username, Crypto G, Dylan VA. Appreciate all you guys. If I missed any names, Lunar Beaches, Tex-Mex, Biomex, Tony. Guys, appreciate you all being here, and thanks for supporting the show. You guys rock. OC, let's go jump over. I want to jump over and to give an update on what I'm seeing on Bitcoin right now. And then I want to get into a little bit of news. We're going to hand it over to you to give your more, focused perspective there. And then we'll get into a couple of alts. May not be a full run show today. Might be a little short. We're not going to stretch it out unnecessarily, but shout out to Alex. Oh, crypto, the Alex gang in the house. Appreciate you, man. Hey, my hat, my coffee, no, not hat, my coffee mug, my polo, my hoodie, and my t-shirt should all be here soon. I got notification of shipping. So my Otter Gang thread is going to be here. I'm going to be looking get my Riz on with some OG gear. That's what I'm going to do. Let's go jump over into the chart. Take a look at this. Guys, this is the level right here that I've been talking about yesterday. I said, look, we're probably going to head down to the 75,894. We did get a little break beneath it. Came back up, right? And then yesterday we were up here trying to hold the 300-day. We lost it. We came back down, just created a double bottom. There is a really nice wave here of, well, there it is. It's just all of this buying pressure right there, guys. So that is sitting right here underneath this. That's where we're getting our bounce from. So watching this level here, if we continue up, I will say that the 300-day might be a retest. This might be a classic OC retest on the 300-day here, but there's something more important going on, and he's going to go over the local time frame, so I'll leave that for him. But shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto. Last night, he pulled this up on his charts. If you guys missed it, you missed a great show. He was on Markets After Dark right here in Piper Academy. And so one of the things that he was talking about was on this chart here, the 52-week simple moving average, okay? And so he's like, guys, we're testing this thing right now. And you can see, we'll bring it in. Let's get some chunky candles in here. Chunky candles. Bong Bing, the opposite of Bing Bong, came in here, got a bounce on this 52-week, and right now, that is what is holding that support. Well, guys, take a look at the historics on this. Let's go back here. That was the bottom in March that we hit that and we went up, okay? That's bullish. That's bullish. But look when we're underneath it. Rejection, 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 support, right? Typically, when we have our pullbacks to this, if we get a bounce on it, we do typically go higher. If we break beneath it, that tends to lend credibility to it being the bear market, okay? And so we are testing this right now. You can see throughout the entire history. Like back here, 2018, got a bounce on it, came up, then it came back and closed on it. Are we about to see something like that here, or is this going to be a continuation rally? Nothing's changed on the fundamental side of the macro, so I don't think that this is going to be a full-on just take off and run rally, but I do think that this could be that moment where the price action gives us one more little rally bounce, cleans out the liquidity from all of this, and then pulls back in. Guys, that would be a level of about $88,000 if we were to break that into a liquidity sweep on it. Of course, if we close this weekly beneath this and we do a continuation down on this 52-week simple moving average, then we'd be hoping for a retest on there for one last chance to short before the bear market goes into full effect. So keep in mind, we have seen, already where a 90-day pause rumor comes out and the markets took off. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But shout out to Lunar Beaches Crypto on that one, guys. What else was there? Was anything else here? No, I don't think so. I think we're pretty good here on the charts for now. Let's go ahead and kick this over to the news, and let's get going on that, knock that out of the way, and then we'll bring in OC to talk about that 4-hour on Bitcoin and see what he's seeing on there. To the newsroom. Let's go. All right, guys, taking a look at the news here. We are seeing on the Into the Cryptoverse morning metrics here, guys. Right now, total crypto market cap is sitting at $2.472 trillion. The trend median on that is at $3.684 trillion, undervalued by 32.92, about 33% right now, that we are saying that we are undervalued right now, okay? Faden TradFi, who said bear? I'm a bear. I am Pi Bear. I identify as King Bear. That's my pronoun. So let's go and take a look at what we're seeing here on the risk levels, currently at 46.3% risk bands. That is for all of our beautiful Piper Plan DCA people in the house. If you guys don't know, now you know. We do a thing over in our Discord, and that is what that wristband has to do with. It has to do with how much we dollar cost average, because it's dynamic dollar cost averaging. Looking at the Bitcoin dominance, guys, with stables, it is at 62.61% right now. Without stables, at 69.1%. So we are starting to see the separation here continue to spread out between with stables and without stables on that Bitcoin dominance. And let's go take a look at that fear and greed index and see what they're telling us now. What can it be now? It is, I believe, extreme fear. Yes, extreme fear at 18 was 24 yesterday. Now we're at 18 here on extreme fear, guys. The reason that bubble went up, even though it was a lower number, is because we don't tend to stay low for long. So the longer it's down there, the higher that will go to switch out on the risk level. So, looking at the hourly here, guys, we are green. Looking at the red, or at the daily, we are red. Let's go check out Bitcoin's price. 77,490, just under 77,500. Down 3.1% on the daily, up a little bit on the hourly. Any big movers? God, Ethereum. Dude, F Ethereum, OC. Look at this number. That down -6%, man. Like, this is horrible right now.
Those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
Oh, look, it went up. See, it heard Matthew McConaughey and said, okay, fine, 5.8. XRP down 6.6%. Solana 4%. Tron 1.9%. Dogecoin down 5.6%. Getting some pretty good pullbacks. Not a whole lot of buybacks here on the hourly, guys. I mean, really, the big one's XRP at 2%. A lot of the other ones, Sui's up 2%. A lot of the other ones just took a massive hit with not much pullback rally. So Hyperliquid's up 3.4. It's green for the day. Green for the day. There you go. Our top 20 Bitcoin Cash, we're lining it out there. Litecoin and Polkadot falling out of those spots there. So let's go over and check out the stock market. Let's look at this. So let's give it a refresh. Gotta be fresh. So fresh. All right. Looking at the Dow Jones, it is currently up about 0.38%. The S&P's up about 0.72%. Nasdaq's up 1.54%. Russell 2K just barely flat at 0.3. And the VIX calming the hell down. That's a good thing, but it's still around 50, guys. Remember, I called for an 80. I think we're going to see an 80 on this VIX before it's all said and done. A lot of people don't believe me, but, no one believed me that I said that Q1 was the time to go, too. So, Europe, looking here, a lot of red on Europe's market, dude. They continued to sell off overnight. What about Asia? Well, most of them, India, Japan, sure, ASX, but check it out. HSI, Shanghai, this is China and Hong Kong. They went up. They're doing a lot better today, recovering after they said, yeah, no, we're not playing your game, U.S. So we are seeing that there. Bonds, 10-year continuing to rocket to the upside, guys. This is not conducive to the plan. If the plan is to refinance our debt levels this year, then that is not going to get us there at all. So be aware. Don't be aware. This is a sell-off from China, in my opinion. China is selling off our treasury bonds left and right. And they are doing this to force us to back away because I think they know what the plan is for Trump. So they're like, oh, you want to refi? Yeah, until you back off of us, get up off me, all the way off me. We're going to continue doing this with your 10-year. Let's look at oil. It's sinking down below 60. Typically, $60 per barrel is the profit threshold for oil companies, but they can't start to shut off like areas. Hey, we're going to shut off that whole field over there. We're not going to get anything on that, but minimize our operational expenses. So they are probably a lot of them going into that play right now. So look at gold. Gold is getting a pump back up 3.31% today, heading back up to 3,100 there. Silver is up today about 2.46%. Was at 35 not long ago, down to $30. So pretty decent fall there. Copper making a little rally back today, which is interesting considering that copper is primarily an industrial metal. And so we are seeing it bounce back after a big sell-off. Platinum's up, palladium is down. So let's go in and check out the economic calendar. We did get the 30-year fixed rate mortgage rates today. 30-year mortgage rate dropped a little bit to 6.61. Still too high for me to want to buy a house. If you guys don't know, I want to buy a house. I want to move out of El Paso. I am looking to move to Dallas. A lot more things to do, a lot more restaurants, a lot more, good shopping, parks. Tired of living in the desert. I can't deal with sandstorms anymore. I've had my share of sandstorms. I'm good. The haboobs can miss me, okay? Because I won't miss them. If you guys don't know what a haboob is, look it up. Do some research. FOMC minutes today, guys, coming out about 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 12 p.m. my time. These are going to be the detailed notes that the FOMC, the Federal Reserve, did at the last FOMC meeting. So people will be gleaning at all of that data so that they can find out what exactly was said and try to get some sentiment on the plan for the. Let me see that hat. It says choose fun, Carnival Cruise Lines. So, hey, I like my cruises. Got 3 more coming between now and January. So, but they're going to be gleaning those FOMC minutes to get that, to get those details of exactly how Jerome Powell and the other Federal Reserve speakers were thinking that last month. So tomorrow, guys, we're going to get core inflation tomorrow morning, early 6:30 a.m. my time. It's going to be 8:30 a.m. right before the market opens out there on the East Coast. It is expected to be higher here on the month over month. The year over year is expected to be a little bit lower. But there's actually some reports, and we'll talk about this report in a bit, that says this inflation projected to go much higher in the month ahead. And so maybe those rate cuts are off the table. We'll take a look at that. X marks the spot for us, guys. Let's go see here. What is Kabisi Letter saying here this morning? He said it's absolutely insane. At 12:01 a.m., additional tariffs of 50% were imposed on Chinese imports to the U.S. 7 hours later, China just announced new tariffs of 50% on U.S. imports, in addition to the 34% that they had already announced. So they're now at 84% tariffs on us. This brings their total tariff rate up to 84%, matching the 34% and the 50% increase that Trump imposed. The Trump administration has pledged to retaliate against all tariff increases on the U.S., and I already showed you China is also retaliating with selling off of the Treasury bonds. So they're hitting us on both sides. We expect another increase in U.S. tariffs on China in the coming days. We are witnessing the World War III of trade wars, okay? We now have this. Check this out. This is why I don't think that the sell-off is done yet, even if we get a rally, guys. And I don't want you guys to get trapped in ape in and go, we're back in the market. No, just calm down, breathe, patience. We now have rapidly rising long-term interest rates, GDP set to decline for multiple quarters, inflation data back on the rise, largest wave of tariffs in 100 plus years, consumer sentiment at pandemic levels, stock market is in officially a contracted bear market. They use a measurement for it. It's in a bear market. What does the Fed even do here? So there is a thing here about what things are in China's favor and what things are in our favor. We might talk about this if we have time to go over that in a bit. But I want to show you guys where we're at with long and shorts before we jump over to OC to break down the 4-hour chart. Because if we take a look here, guys, a lot more people right now are sitting bearish than bullish. It's at almost even, but it's 50.06 versus 49.94. So about even, but a little tilt, a little, lean with it on the shorts more than the longs right now. So we are still seeing that, though. When you look at the overall sentiment, it's over 50% bullish. It's about 28% bearish, and then 20% is neutral. So a lot more people still bullish than bearish. The scare has not fully set in yet. Looking at the liquidation heat map, guys, the level that I'm watching on this on a 6-month, if we can get it to load, and then we'll hand this over to OC with this data. So OC, more shorts than longs right now, barely. But if we take a look at the heat map here, it's going to be a level that is down. If it would load, it's not going to load. That level, by the way, is down about, there it goes, about $65,000 to $66,000. So $64,000 to $66,000 on the heat map here is about $1 billion in liquidation sitting down there. And I do ultimately think that's where we're going to go. We're going to clean through this, then we're going to go down and clean out that. So OC, let's kick it over to you. See what you got on the 4-hour chart, what you're seeing on Bitcoin, and how this data that we just looked at plays into what you're seeing on your chart. You got it.
Absolutely. Just a quick reminder, guys, that if you were yesterday on the show on Trading with OC, we had a little bit of a charting here for just take a look at your leverage and the percentages that you will be liquidated on your position. If you are struggling to find that information, it is right here on the Piper Academy show. You just look for the chapter that we are in, and you have the notes. Also, we have the notes for chapter number 4 that was taken on the first of this month. So just a quick overview if you were looking to get those charts. So let's jump right on to the 4-hour charts in here very quickly before we move on to. So at this point, we're having the top and bottom section that we were talking about here. We are bouncing from it. We did create a higher high on our oscillator. We did held on our loud order block here, and now we have another loud order block here. This is not gone, guys, or this isn't, we're not out of the blue. Why? Because despite we have this double bottom, well, then we are creating another loud order block in here. In this order block, it is majorly bearish. So that means that when we are getting out of it and then rejecting from this one, most likely there's not going to be any more bullish sentiment at this point, unless we start shifting the orders. Remember, the order blocks are people setting up their orders, all right? So if for some reason we start seeing this 80 increasing, we might have a chance to just get rid of all of this bearishness and finally break through. But I think we're going to be having a little bit of a ranging here before we see that movement. Let me just clear this up and go to another chart very quickly. And let me go back to daily just so we know what I am expecting. Basically, this is what I'm expecting. I don't know why this went. Oh, I see. Logarithmic. All right, non-logarithmic charts. So this is the 2020 first 2021 bear market, not bear market, but before the bear market. I believe that we could be seeing something like that. So the light at the end of the tunnel. This on daily. If we have the flip of the ribbon and then we are able to break above that zero line, that would take us and maybe create a dead cat bounce. All right. That also falls in line on how we could be moving on the weekly that we talked about yesterday with Piper, right? So there's a slight possibility, if the markets just played out their cards just right, that we can have that bullish movement or bullish scenario. Remember, this is not a today analysis. This is something that we've been following for a long time. Let me just start going to another Bitcoin scenario so we can start seeing something a little bit more clean and clear, right? Let's get started with our oscillator here. And I also want to bring up my predictive ranges. The predictive ranges, along with my oscillator, are telling me, look at that we could be sweeping down the lows all the way to 69. Guys, we are still looking at 70-ish. All right, so 69,800, somewhere at around 70. But so far, we have the bullish divergence. I do expect that the bullish divergence take us at least to the previous high, all right? And then we need to see how that dynamic reactor reacts. Most likely, we're going to be very close to that price action. And at that point, we need to take a look at both our volatility, prime score, and the third one, consolidation score. Our consolidation score needs to be somewhere around 2. Prime score needs to be somewhere around 3, and our volatility needs to be around 60, 65. All right. So those are the minimum factors that I want to have at this point, for then a minimum rejection and then a breakthrough and then hit this order blocking here. This is the deal. I think that we're going to be having a major rejection out of this one. But first, we need to clear the first hurdle here. So we're not out of the blue. Guys, we are bearish. We are tremendously bearish. So let's not forget that, all right? We are very bearish, right? We keep making those lower lows. Well, in this case, we did a double bottom. That is just the first step for a bullish breakout, right? But we are still bearish. We need to see that that oscillator to break to the zero line. And that's what I'm going to be waiting for. If not, I will be putting on a short order in here. Well, regardless, I'm going to be putting on here a short order, and that is going to be for just retracing for then create the next higher low in there. So other than that, that's what I'm going to be trading on. This is what I see on Bitcoin. Passing it over to you, Piper.
Outstanding. Shout out to Text Mix, Biomix Tony dropping a super chat. He said, "Can I pet that chart? Can I pet that dog?" Appreciate you guys, man. Yeah, I'm going to get to spend some time with my dog today. So today we're doing some more of we've been doing the one-on-one training where, we worked with her to see how she triggers to us setting up PTSD scenarios. So, elevation, getting all hyped up and yelling or, just freezing up, whatever. So yeah, we're doing all of our one-on-one training, so we are getting to see our dog a little bit right now. RB Piper, what do you think about the chart? Let's go see what this says here. Let's bring this up. RB Piper, what do you think about the chart of the Chinese yuan and how it's starting to free fall? I think China's being forced to sell U.S. treasuries to attempt to prop up the yuan. I think their yuan is dropping like that because they are selling the U.S. treasury. Remember, our treasury bonds are bought by other countries because it's usually a good investment for the country. And so them doing it as a retaliation, which I think that they are, selling them as a retaliation against the tariffs to keep the number higher, to bring Trump to the table. They're playing a game of chicken with Trump. I think that that's a big reason why the yuan, because the yuan started really dumping hard when our treasury bonds started going up. So I think that might be the reason. Cause correlation, not sure, but my opinion is that it's dropping because they are getting rid of a lot of their treasury reserve. And when you look at their economy, they're in deflation. So they really needed to have exposure to something stronger than their money. And now the yuan's getting sold off for it. So Froth Dog Billionaire, Grateful Legends, got to head off. Take care, brother. Appreciate you, man, for coming over. Thanks for stopping by. Did you hit the like button? Hit the like button on your way out. Don't forget. Okay, let's go talk about this article, OC. I got an article here talking about Morgan Stanley saying that the Fed won't cut rates until next year because of tariffs' effect on inflation. So let's go take a look at what they're saying here. President Donald Trump tariffs are likely to spur inflation before they slow growth, keeping the Federal Reserve on the sidelines for the rest of 2025, according to a Morgan Stanley updated forecast came out on Tuesday. With Trump's reciprocal tariffs against dozens of U.S. trading partners due to hit Wednesday, the Wall Street Investment Bank sees gross domestic product growth coming to a near standstill and the core inflation ending the year well above the central bank's 2%. That means, absent a recession, the Fed likely will continue its holding pattern on interest rates. Since tariffs firm inflation and weaken activity later. Since they firm inflation now and weaken activity later, we have inflation diverging more substantially from the 2% target in 2025 than employment diverges from the maximum employment. So they are saying that we will not see that this year. They're also, JP Morgan, in case you guys didn't know, also raised the likelihood of us having a recession to 75%, but they just said, hey, if we have a recession, they might cut. If we don't have a recession, they won't cut. So we're seeing, and by the way, the reason that they think that is because with recession, you see rising unemployment numbers. So that would be the reason for that. But I still think that if the inflation is going up higher than what the unemployment is, they will focus on not raising rates or not cutting rates, because inflation is harder to get rid of than fixing the unemployment level. I did go over to the CME group to look at what they're saying now on the likelihood of rate cuts. They're not pricing in anything yet on their estimates. You can see this did move a little bit. It's now a 41.4% chance of a rate cut in May, on May 7th. Looking at June, though, guys, it goes 100% chance of a rate cut in June as of right now, according to the CME. So Morgan Stanley saying they don't see it happening unless something changes with the tariff stuff. CME Group still estimating that we will get a rate cut in June, 100% chance of it. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Let's go back over and talk about that, OC. So if we don't get those rate cuts coming in, that's quantitative tightening continuation. And that means historically, Bitcoin does not do well without quantitative easing. It needs that money cycle, right? So what are your thoughts on that? If we don't see any rate cuts, is the markets in general, but especially Bitcoin and crypto, is it doomed for this year? Can we just write this off as a tax loss harvesting year and drive on? What's your thoughts on that, man?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be just like pandemic, right? It never existed. So we just, you know what? We don't want that free trial. Give me back my 2 years, right, of of Bitcoin or pandemic. No, just kidding. Of course that this will have an impact on Bitcoin, but I would say that if we are able to just like pull up, right, out of this regression on the markets, I believe that we still have a bad impact. I mean, I still think that somehow we're going to be hitting the 73s or something like that into this extended period. But also, I believe that, as I've been talking about, we might still have that light at the end of the tunnel and make maybe that dead cat bounce. When we are at that dead cat bounce, we need to revisit what are the current market conditions, and then reevaluate it, because there's many things at stake. At this point, we are kind of like in that line when we are just starting to participate with the big numbers, right? I mean, we are even lower. Talking about when I mentioned we, I mentioned all of us as Bitcoin, right? All of us that hold Bitcoin and trade Bitcoin, or Bitcoin, it is lower market cap. It has a lower market cap than Meta. All right. So that means that any manipulation in the market, anything that happens in the market, is going to affect us much more than Meta, right? And just let's see how Meta has been doing. Something that is on our side, that we are not centralized, right? So we have miners, we have the chain, and we have, well, the holders, right? And at this point, the institutional money. But the institutional money might be just get scared and pull out a little bit, which is going to be maybe taking us all the way back down somewhere around. And if I see this, I will be pointing at some of your targets that are very, very low, 50s, 40s, something like that. Yeah, at that point, that's what I do see, those lows. But so far, I don't know. I mean, I need to say this out loud. I might be involving some of my own hopium, but I do see the signals that we still have a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel. Guys, if you're in a pickle at this point, these words should not be meaning anything to you. Why? Because let me give you a little bit of an example. A couple of cycles ago, 2 cycles ago, I was also in the ditch, like when it was going downwards, and some YouTuber was telling me, you know what, we still have that slight possibility. And I was like, yeah, we still have chances, right? I'm going to hold it. And then I just ride it all the way down. So I rather tell you guys, be careful, set your stops, right? Go into the Piper Academy. That's why you have your subscription, and check out the DCA plan. Guys, no kidding. I teach my own DCA plan for this DCA plan. This is the one that I'm following because it also lets me take profits at better areas, right? And also duplicate my DCA based on risk. So let me just leave it as is at this point. That is my point of view. I don't want to kind of like start wearing my tinfoil hat now that we have a double bottom. So yeah.
OC tinfoil hats in the chat. Here they come. I think go ahead. You paused on me. I thought you were done. So I'm thinking
I was done.
Okay, I'm thinking that, look, we do have a chance for relief rallies, guys. I even put it on the thing today. Possible relief rally coming. That will be the opportunity if anyone is looking to take some dry powder to have in case this does not turn around quickly, which very likely will not. That gives the ability. I would not do it at this point. I just wouldn't. If I was in at this point, I'd be like, well, I'm in it to win it, I guess. But I really would like to see, like to see the markets go higher. You know why, OC? Because I got this thing that I found and I want to get it. When I become a millionaire, there will be signs, okay?
Take a crazy turn when they start doing unexplainable shit with technology. So Kawasaki, you know Kawasaki, the motorcycle company, just released their new motorcycle. And let me say this, it's not a motorcycle. Matter of fact, look at this shit. And as you can see, it looks like a motorcycle, but it has 4 legs. What the hell do you need a motorcycle with 4 legs for? 4 fully functionable legs. And let me just say this, you could do way more shit with this than you can with a motorcycle. Look at this shit right here. So you telling me they're not getting ready for something? This new robot horse doesn't take gas. It doesn't take batteries either. It's fueled by hydrogen, which means it's gonna last way longer than a motorcycle for whatever they want you to use it for. Yeah, okay. And they're saying this could be controlled the same way you control a motorcycle. But they also specified It's used for lifting things. I wonder what they plan on lifting with it. Because who's running
Hyper
up
bears, we
mountains
weigh a lot.
with a robotic horse? Now what they're saying is they don't have a price for it out yet. But it's not gonna be cheap. So most likely it might be in the $100,000 range and up. Will you cop it? Pay attention. You know the
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Absolutely gonna get that. I need the Kawasaki motorcycle horse so that I can just ride around. I'm just gonna go off into the mountains. So I need Bitcoin to pump, okay? I do want Bitcoin to pump. Do you know that Orange Ops, back in the Orange Ops, all says yeah, what do you guys think, man? Would you guys buy one of those? If it was like $100,000, would you buy one of those? Let me know in the chat. OC, let's go jump into the altcoins and let's take a look at those, and then we'll come back and talk about banks. Are they set to push into Bitcoin adoption by the end of this year? A little bit of hope in the end to show out today. OC, let's take a look and see what you got on the chart. By the way, whoever hit the dislike button, I have a particular set of skills. I will find you, and I will break your thumb.
I love it, man. Oh, never gets old. Guys, Ethereum, right? Hashtag Ethereum, by the way. I mean, never disappoint. Looking at the damn thing going lower. Yesterday, we were talking about this going lower scheme, right? And then creating a divergence. Guess what? We did it. Perfect. We are now on our way to create a higher low. In fact, we already have that higher low, right? So hopefully you guys did enter in that area right there. If you didn't know where or what we were looking for, oh, where am I at? I think this not load properly. No, it did. All right, perfect. We were talking about this area right there with on our VPVR right here on the area of smart money. Nonetheless, it turned into an area, well, just a casual area. I'm not going to be saying retail because it's not big enough to be retail, neither small enough to be smart money. So basically just a good area of bounce. Another thing that we were looking on Ethereum, because it was moving very quick, it was our predictive ranges, right? Look at that. We bounced right at a golden line right there. Let's take a look at the next one. And the next one, it is just basically aiming all the way down here. So we still need to be careful on this one. If you did not enter on the area that we marked, then guys, do not enter right now. This is not the time to chase after the price. What I will be waiting for, it's going to be maybe a rejection of my zero line, because guys, remember, we do not have that zero line just yet. Let me just place it here so you can see it. Let me do right here, coordinate 0. And then let me right click and lock it. There we go. This is a bright zero line, and we are still below it. So until we start breaking through, that is going to be your next goal for a possible entry. How will that look like? Maybe a big movement taking previous highs. This is going to be your warning. Hey, wait for that pullback, wait for that retrace, right? You're entering zone to create another higher low, and then off we go to dynamic reactor or previous weekly low. You might be telling me, well, if you are that sure that we're going to be going up, and I mean, this movement is going to be much better than the retest pull up, right? Why do I don't get it right now? And that's because your entry was all the way down here. What if I'm going to be having, or what if we have a rejection of the zero line, right? I mean, what if we have that rejection? What if we don't make it, right? What if we have that rejection? What if we have that rejection? You see the point? Like, going to the zero line is not an easy task, right? And just going because, or just entering because it looks like, and not because I have confirmation, that could be a mistake that costs you money. So guys, take any mistakes that you like. I mean, I'm not here to tell you. I mean, even this guy that invented the light bulb took that many mistakes. Let's just do something differently here. Let's not waste our money on those mistakes. At least let's try not to waste as much of our money on those mistakes, right? If you really want to jump in, I mean, you can jump in right now, right, at this price point, set your stop loss below the previous low, give yourself that wiggle room, but do it with, I would say, even a quarter of an entry or a half of an entry, whichever you want. I'm going to leave it as a quarter of an entry, right there. And that will be a quarter. Usually, I'm talking about your full wallet on a isolated position. But be aware that this could pretty much do something like that. So as soon as you're in green, guys, move your stop to entry ASAP. Do not let it retrace on you. All right. And then if you're willing, take the next entry somewhere around these same areas, 1,440, 1,480 ish. But again, we want to see that piercing through the zero line. All right. Litecoin, very quick. This looks way better, right? There we go. Our plan, we played out perfectly. We're looking at these areas. There we go. Previous resistance becomes new supports. Previous supports also become new resistance. There we have it right here. Previous weekly low and a chart support right there. Played out very nicely. Same exact analysis. This is not the time to start chasing after the prices. We need to see that rejection, right? And as you can see, once we have that rejection, this might be too long of a rejection, right? Maybe when we see that rejection, we need to look back into where we are. But at this point, it seems like we are having that push through. We just need to have a prime score better than 1, something like 3, right? To make that push through the previous highs. So other than that, same exact analysis. OM looking differently. OM actually had a beautiful V-shaped recovery. Now we're heading into the dynamic reactor. I was expecting a rejection, not on the dynamic reactor, but a little bit higher on this trend line, which doesn't look like a trend line, I know. Nonetheless, I was expecting that. At this point, we could be forming a very sharp head and shoulders. So if we have a retracement to the dynamic reactor, let me just clear this up so we can draw it much better. There we go. So our next entry for a short, it's going to be in here. I'm going to be adding one.
So what are you drawing there?
Easy. That is an elephant pattern, man. That is an elephant pattern, man. Yeah, but there you go. That's it. So with one eye, it's a Picasso elephant. There you go. So I learned that from Alex Crypto, by the way. So that's his pattern. So shout out for him. All right. So now that we have that elephant pattern or inverted head and shoulders with a very pointy nose, well, then this could be our entry for a short if we have rejection. But look at that. Our consolidation score is getting higher. If we have something like 4 and our prime score where we are getting here, remember that our inverse head and shoulder usually breaks to the upside. All right. And after breakout retest, that's going to be your entry. Guys, this could be a one single candle bounce to the upside. Let's just wrap it up with Binance Coin. Binance Coin, we've been looking for this beautiful triangle. Remember that the gold on these triangles is not that they're 50-50 or unknown breakout is, right? Breakout is. It is their lines, right? Because we can trade between those lines, and also we can trade at the breakout of those lines. So that at this point, this was our entry with the flip of the ribbon, maybe a little bit before or on the way back. This is it. And if you have not yet jumped in, let's just take a look at some chunky candles, right? Bong bing. And then we're going to be looking for a short at that dynamic reactor, as long as we're still very low on our prime score and consolidation score, and of course, below our seal line, which in this case, I think that we might have just enough to start making a breakout, but be careful because this one could be a fake out. So let me just mark this a possible fake out. All right. So that's what I got on the icon part. Piper, let me pass it over to you, my friend.
Awesome. Hey, do me a favor, guys. Because we got this new thing. If you guys are wanting to trade with some of these trades that JR's dropping in our Discord, the ones that I show, the OC shows. If you guys are looking to trade any of this stuff, guys, check it out. We got a exclusive offer for new users. Of course, if you already have an account, you can open up a new one. Why not get the money? You can move on Polygon on. I think it's like $0 fees to move from one account to the other. But right now, we have through April 18th a 50% cash back offer on Blofin, guys, using our link down that we will drop here down below in a second. But it's if you deposit $50, you get a $25 voucher, up to $500, $250 voucher, and this is free trade money, guys. So 50% cash back that you can use within 14 days. If you guys are interested in it, I will drop that link down below. Let's go ahead over though and talk about this article that I want to talk about. after I get that link. I got to get that link for you guys. Link. He wants his link, man. Let's get that link and drop it into the chat for you guys. And then I'm sure that Alexander G or somebody can pin that. But yeah, it's 50% back, cash back. So pretty good deal right now while everyone's looking to trade and get some free money for it. Let's go over and take a look at what we got here on crypto execs. Expect global banking push into Bitcoin by the end of 2025. According to Masari's Eric Turner and Singham Bank's Thomas Eichenberger, I think I nailed that, expects a global push into Bitcoin by banks in 2025 as regulators embrace crypto. Despite the ongoing market meltdown on U.S. trade tariffs, executives at major crypto firms are bullish on institutional Bitcoin adoption later on in 2025. Speaking at a panel in Paris Blockchain Week on April 8th, they were touted as saying that they expect a significant shift in the banking sector's involvement with crypto in the second half of the year. I think we're probably looking at a muted quarter two, but I'm really excited for quarter three and quarter four, forecasting really interesting things coming to the crypto market in 2025. Crypto adoption is not just about Trump. We also had a lot of regulation that just got unraveled or shifted to allow banks to custody and get involved into crypto. So me personally, I'm very excited for it. You guys know I started my dollar cost averaging on Bitcoin as soon as I sold at within 5% of the top and got out. I started my DCA. Why? Because I want to still have exposure to Bitcoin. And as it goes down and the risk levels get further and further into those lower bands, I'll be DCAing even more. Then, of course, you guys know the MVP oscillator. When it fires off, it's go time with massive, massive ape-in buys for me. Why am I excited about banks getting this and how is that related to me DCAing? Because eventually I will never, ever sell my Bitcoin again, maybe 20% of it when I see these topping indications again, and then have that to buy even more and compound my money, right? But with banks being able to adopt it, it means that we'll be able to use it as collateral at banks and be able to take loans against it, smart loans that will actually give me the ability to have my net worth of Bitcoin, but not ever have to sell it in order to spend it at a much lower rate. By the way, taking a loan against Bitcoin doesn't trigger a federal income tax or a capital gains tax. So it is a way for you to spend money based on what you have in net worth of Bitcoin without triggering a taxable event and loan rates. If you're using a small portion for a small loan for a bigger portion of Bitcoin, probably going to be pretty decent rates. Coinbase right now does it, but I'm very excited to see the banks get into this. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think that we're going to see this massive flow of adoption into Bitcoin custody for banks by end of 2025? And do you trust banks with your Bitcoin? That's a good question too, isn't it? OC, we are about at the top here. Do you have anything else that you wanted to get out for these people before we head out of here, man?
Yeah, absolutely. Just remember to visit today's trading with OC because we're going to be talking about manage your risk, right? We're going to be talking about positions on your broker. I don't suggest you guys doing that, but we're going to be talking about the things that are out there so you guys know how can you maybe use it on your advantage when you are a pro trader. But in the meantime, guys, a quick reminder to hit that like button because if you do, the outlets on your house will still working and you will be able to create your beautiful breakfast at the morning and not starve to death throughout the morning. Other than that, thank you guys so much for joining. Passing it over to you, my friend.
First, no orange juice with your coffee, then no breakfast. Next thing you know, OC is going to be showing up with not so Supermanish hair because his brush caught on fire or something. I don't know. OC, your mornings are starting to collapse on us. I don't know what's going on here, man. You need to get it right. All right, guys, we appreciate you all joining us here today. If you guys have not done so, please smash up that like button. Share this with a friend if you think anyone can get any value out of this, guys. We're going to be starting to focus this really hard as the morning market show here soon. And we're going to be making a couple of changes. Got to have a team meeting with the whole team. But yeah, we're going to be making some changes and trying to make this really focused on your macro macro outlook for the day coming up, going forward, guys. So I appreciate everyone that's here. We'll catch you guys back here tomorrow morning. Make sure you tune into OC's live show tonight, and then check out Markets After Dark tomorrow morning, kicking it all off again with Good Morning Crypto at BC Port Corp. We'll be back here at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, breaking down the news, the charts, the markets, the macro, and everything. Profit, guys. We're heading to Dano Crypto. So maybe when you get over there, drop the graduation caps, and I'll catch everyone later. Peace.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti. Yo, crunch crypto with a deep dive to reject dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have step, fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels fall low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra.
Yeah, that's my alumni, you know what I mean.
That was awesome, dude!